Hello! Welcome! This is a late stream, but you know, better late than never. Today was just one of those like really busy days that was, you know, cutting into one of my work days, but you know, I don't mind. It like if this was you know, like a cell shading commission or something that would take a lot of time, I would have probably had to reschedule it, but because it's a sketch, I can, you know, fit it in. So I'm going to refine what I drew. So I took like an hour before I had to leave to my nephew's birthday party, and I just tried to work out the sketch as much as I could so that when I get home I can, you know, make it pretty. So here we go. Also, it was funny because when I went over to my nieces and nephews for the birthday, I had to like tell all of them my crazy story from the weird thing that happened last night that I can't shut up about. So like, if I get enough people watching the stream, I might just have to tell my story again. Because it's just, I just can't fathom. I can't wrap my brain around what happened last night. Hope you had fun. Oh, I definitely did. It was funny because the kids were like really interested in my story. They were asking me so many questions. And my nieces are like telling me, they're like, you know, if that curtain rod ever shows up again, let us know. Did you read the general chat and see what I was writing in there? Oh, yeah. My head is fine. You know, it's funny because, like, my nieces and nephews, their mom was like, wow, how hard did that curtain rod hit your head? Like, maybe you were, like, delusional or something and you took it and flung it somewhere. And I was like, it didn't hit my head that hard, you know? It was like, you know, when you stub your toe, right? Like, just a minor little ouch. Like, ooh, that hurt. But it wasn't anything major. Like, it didn't severely hurt me. It didn't give me a concussion. It didn't make me suddenly hallucinate. All it did do was disappear. And then, like, I called my dad last night and I left him a message, and he called this morning and I told him about it. And he's like, well, what if it possibly like went behind the dresser and then rolled underneath it? So I decided this morning to check, because apparently there is like a little hole under the dresser in the back of it. So Mike and I got down there on the floor and we stuck a camera behind there with a flash and took photos of the underneath of the dresser, and there's nothing there. So that rules out the last possible plausible place that if it did go somewhere, that's the last place it could have gone. So we have completely checked every inch of this bedroom and it's just gone. An entire curtain rod just disappeared. I can't explain it. I really can't. It's like it fell, it hit my head, and then it just disappeared. So before I started the stream, I took a little EMF reader, electromagnetic field, and I tested it. I ran it through the room. It didn't react to anything. The only thing it reacted to was in the bathroom. There's a Febreze plug-in in the wall and an outlet, and it, like, 3 of the little lights lit up for the outlet. But that's it. Like, nothing else in the room lit up. Like, definitely nothing around the closet. So, interesting, though, is that I live right across the street from a very big, very old graveyard. So my friend Penny was like, well, you live near a graveyard, you know, maybe there's a ghost or something messing around. I just don't know. But that is exactly what happened. I was hanging a scarf in my closet. I accidentally stepped on the curtain because it's too long. The curtain kind of, you know, it hangs down really far and it drapes kind of over the floor, and my foot went on it and pulled down the bar, and then the curtain rod bar came down, hit my head, and the curtain fell right in front of me at my feet. And when I went down to pick up the curtains and just hang them back up, the bar was gone. The rod, it's like a 3-foot long white metal tension rod that I got at Walmart that was maybe like $8. And this thing is big. It's 3 feet long. It has rubber on the ends. And something like that does not just vanish. And I thought I was going insane because I was like, where is it? And I start looking around, like, in the closet. I'm like, okay, it has a spring. Maybe it bounced, you know, maybe it went, maybe it went behind the dresser that's just outside the closet. Maybe it bounced somewhere in the closet. Maybe it got stuck in my scarves. I mean, I literally considered every possibility within the realm of physics for where this thing could have gone. Even though technically I know that realistically what would have happened is, you know, if a curtain falls, it's still the rod is still like in the holes with the curtain in it, you know what I mean? So I went into the hallway because we have another one, and when I tested it with Mike, I'm like, okay, this is what happens when you pull down a curtain. So we pulled down the curtain, and the curtain rod fell to the floor with the curtain, and it was still in the curtain. It was in the holes of the curtain. And I'm like, yes, see, this is what happens when you pull down a curtain, as the laws of physics and reality as we know it dictate. But the curtain rod that hit my head was not in the curtain. It was gone. And it's still gone. It hasn't shown back up yet. And I can't stop talking about this damn curtain rod because this is the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me in my life, and I can't explain it. It's just really weird. And I'm like oddly excited about it because I really get into like paranormal stuff, and this is like something paranormal that happened in my own room. So I'm just like, oh my god, I have to investigate this. I have to tell everybody about it and talk about it nonstop like a total crackpot. Because it's fascinating. You know? Like, I've ruled out every possible place it could have gone, and I've completely proven that it is gone. It is not in this room. So it disappeared. Like, vanished. Like, magically. An entire 3-foot long curtain rod just vanished out of reality. Like, what? So I do apologize if like I keep going on about this like a freaking lunatic, but like if something like this happened to you guys, you'd be pretty weirded out. You know, it's definitely something to talk about. But what's really interesting is it got me into like looking up stories online from other people who've had similar things happen. And there are just, apparently this is a common thing. This isn't just me. This is like, this happens to a lot of people. So there was a story about a lady who was painting her nails, and she had a bottle of nail polish remover, like, right next to her. And she, like, turned around, you know, to do her nails, and then turned to get the bottle, and it was suddenly gone. So I guess she didn't think anything of it. Like, she spent some time looking for it and was just like, oh, that was weird, whatever. And she went upstairs and got another bottle of nail polish remover and just, you know, carried on doing what she was doing. And then 10 minutes later, she turns her head to get the nail polish remover and notices the old bottle that went missing was suddenly back next to the new bottle. So that's an example of something that just kind of vanished and then reappeared. And I've been hearing that a lot with these kind of stories of the missing object phenomenon. That, like, a lot of times these objects that go missing do suddenly reappear. It depends. Like, they can reappear days or weeks or hours or years later. They might reappear in the same spot where they disappeared, or they might reappear in a completely different random spot, or they might never reappear. So there's just so many stories out there that it's too many to be like a coincidence. Like, there's clearly something that science can't detect that happens to physical objects. Like, something is going on, for sure. So I just find this kind of stuff really fascinating. It's like, we think we understand our reality, but then we just learn that there really is so much in this world that we just don't know. You know, there's so many things that we don't know and that just can't be explained. And, you know, we just gotta kind of roll with it, because sometimes one minute you have something and the next minute it just poofs. But I tell you, man, I keep looking back at that closet and I'm like, I need to do like a paranormal investigation. Like, see if I got some kind of ghosts in here or something. Because, that was strange. Definitely strange. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I was gonna do the stream yesterday for the, you know, the Chibi Vol'jin thing, and that just completely derailed me. I was utterly distracted by that whole thing. So I honestly completely forgot the stream, and I was like, oh crap, I didn't do my stream. And my schedule is, you know, so packed because I gotta like get my commissions done, and then I got Thanksgiving coming up on Thursday. So I really couldn't find a day that I could squeeze it in, so I'm gonna do it on December 7th. So I do apologize to my patrons for not getting any patron work done this month, but this was a busy month. Like, I had, you know, days where I had to cancel my stream because of birthdays and all that. And December is going to be busy too, because it's going to be Christmas time, and that's like the craziest month of the year for me. But, you know, I'm going to do my best to really make that at least one chibi happen within the month, so. And it will be posted in the patrons only channel. Excuse me. The patrons only channel for you guys who are patrons. And after like, you know, I'd say about a month goes by, then I'll post it publicly. But you guys will have early access to that. So you get to see it before anybody else. If I knew how to do patron-only streams where only patrons could watch, I would do that too, but I don't really know how to do that. Except maybe through Discord, but like Discord streaming is kind of buggy. So, I don't know. They look so comfy, so scruffy. I love him. Aww. It's not loading? Oh no. Also, hello Ordy, hello Savannah. There it goes. Oh good. Yeah, I decided not to be on WoW while I do this because Babone told me that WoW is like super laggy because they turned off the phasing thingy, so it's very crowded. Because I remember how like people wanted to trade me gold for sketches and like they couldn't see me at all, and I was like, this is so weird, and I was logging on to like every tune and nobody could see me, and it's like, how is it all of my tunes are somehow phased out from everybody? I didn't realize it was because of the parsing thing that they were doing to try and like lower the lag. It was frustrating because, you know, like people are trying to trade me gold and I can't see them. Like, it was making me worried. I was like, is something wrong on my end? Like, what did I do? I'm in voice chat with a tabletop game, so I gotta be muted, but I'm watching. Cool. It's fixed now, but it was pretty bad. Uh-huh. I told Babone that I thought the fact that Thayer's mane is a touch more shaggy under his chin felt more old elf, and it fit him. Nice. So yeah, I actually like, you know, sketched this out just an hour before I had to leave for the party because I woke up today, I had to take a bath, I had to just get like a whole bunch of stuff done before I had to leave, and I was like, man, I'd feel really bad if I don't at least get a jump on this because I know I'm not going to be home until really late. So I'm glad that, you know, I got to get at least a sketch ready to go. Oh, and one thing I've been doing whenever I got some free time, I've been doing the pre-patch event on all my alts, and so far I got all the leather, all the cloth, and all the mail. So, for that transmog thing, just doing the, killing the elementals. And I also got the heirloom thingy. So that's cool. I just need to do my plate stuff, so I gotta get on with my paladin and do all that stuff again. And it's been cool because I've been able to like gear up my alts, because all of my alts were like 230 item level, and now I'm getting them up to 252, so, you know, it's a little better. It'll make things a little easier for Dragonflight. I don't really like play content with alts though. I usually just use them for farming mounts and stuff, so they don't really have to have high item levels, but it definitely helps for, you know, doing like Legion stuff. It really helps. And I guess it'll help for BFA too, if I ever want to go back to BFA and try farming things. Having a high item level could be really useful so they don't die so much. But, yeah, that's pretty much what I do with my alts. They're mostly for farming. I never swap mains. Like, Amma is always the character that does all the work every time. Like, any expansion I play, Amalthera is the one who does all the quests and, you know, because I just can't bring myself to do it on more than one character over and over and over and over again. Like, one character is enough, you know, to do all the content. I also like that, you know, there's that reagent bag now, too. I think that's pretty awesome. So, like, because I like to mine a lot of ore, and, you know, I get, like, cloth and fish and all kinds of stuff, so it's really nice to, like, not have that stuff cluttering up my main bags and to have a dedicated bag to put it in that has its own space. So I think that's great. That's really nice. I appreciate them respecting my very limited bag space, because, oh my god, you guys should see my banks. Like, I have so much bloat from so many different expansions. Just, you know, I literally hang on to so many quest items thinking that, like, someday I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna finish quests from, like, 10 years ago, you know? Like, I still have crap in my bank from quests that are just... Like, for example, I have, the Thunder Fury, one of the items to make the Thunder Fury. And even though I don't run Molten Core, like, super often, it's like, well, someday if I'm running Molten Core, I might get the other half. So I hang on to it, you know? And I have, like, stuff from Mists of Pandaria, I have stuff from Warlords of Draenor, just, lots of stuff. Like, materials and crafting things. I have all my artifact weapons and the Heart of Azeroth. Me too. I'm working on the sets now, but I have the heirloom. Yeah, so pretty much once I get the plate set from the pre-patch event, then I have all the mogs. But I think I want to also do it to, like, level up my characters that are close to 60. Like, I have a couple 50-somethings. And a lot of people are doing leveling groups, just killing elementals all day. So if that yields a decent amount of XP and it's worth doing, then I wouldn't mind just mindlessly farming elementals just to level up, you know, more of my alts. So it's a thing to do, you know. Let's see. Lom and one of his other mates, Talbot, another all of mine, nudged Therandros to get big like Lom. Talbot kind of indulged him while he was kind of naive of how much he was. And Lom was like, I love you this size and you look fine, and also sort of teased him a little when he made the poor old Cal War guy, I like that Cal War guy, realize that catching up with the chubby furbog was nice. Hence his look here. I wonder, does he have this pumpkin because he's gonna, like, make a pumpkin pie or something? I love pumpkin pie. I need to buy one for Thanksgiving. I hope they don't all get sold out. Need pumpkin pie. I just love pie. Let's see. By the way, what do you guys think of Drakthir evokers so far? I gotta say, like, they're pretty fun to play. I really love their flying. Oh my god. Like, the flying is so much fun. Like, I know everybody's been raving about dragon flying, and now I can see why. Like, it is fun. I'm enjoying them. They're so fun for their builds. Yeah, it is. It's great. I haven't gotten to RP mine at all yet. You know, I'm kind of sad because, like, my RPs are... I only have 2 RPs going, and they're both stuck in the Shadowlands time frame. So, and because, like, the current expansion is a 2-year time jump, like, we have to wrap up our stories and then time jump everything by 2 years just to be able to RP in the present time frame. So that's gonna be a little tough to do. So we can't just yet, so we're stuck RPing this Shadowlands. I mean, we're still, like, doing our own stories within this time frame, but man, I just want to pretend like Shadowlands didn't happen, you know, just, like, move on and be done with that whole thing story-wise. Like, I don't want to mention the jailer's name ever again. Like, for reals. I really want to, like, move on to RPing, like, Dragonflight stuff. Like, I want to actually bring my Drakthir into my RP. Like, I want to so bad. Maybe what we can do is we can just, like, we have side stories, so we can just do, like, a Dragonflight side story kind of thing. You know, that's separate from the main role plays. So that way we can, like, just get right into Dragonflight stuff and, you know, continue our RP whenever, so. That's an idea. Side stories. Yay! I've been, like, basically I've been kind of lurking in Orgrimmar, like, just watching all the Drakthir RPers. And it's kind of like, you know, Nightborn and Illidari. Like, they've been kind of in their own little bubble or imprisoned or in stasis or asleep for, like, thousands and thousands of years, and they're just now kind of getting used to the world as it is. So, like, I feel like playing a race that has that kind of story is easier because everybody is in the same boat. Like, none of you really know what's going on in the world and you're just learning now. Like, everything is new, everything is fascinating. Like, you're just learning all the history of what's been going on throughout the world. And for the Drakthir, it's been 20,000 years. Like, that is a really long time to be in stasis and a whole lot of history to catch up on. Like, 20,000 years of history is insane. So they're all, like, just, you know, chilling, talking to each other, like, wow, did you know that the old gods did this and that happened to Deathwing and this and the other, and oh my god, like, holy cow. Like, whoa, you guys have been in endless, non-stop, constant war all the time? Like, yep. Non-stop, constant war. We never catch a break. Welcome to Azeroth, guys. Spike's trying to come to terms with almost his entire Kresh dying, being abandoned for 20,000 years and losing the only home he knew. Yeah, like, that's pretty much what all of them are kind of RPing. Like, it's a good starting point. Because then, like, from there, you can only go on to more and more adventure. Like, developing your characters, making friends with the different races of Azeroth, and, like, just seeing where your story goes. I haven't really thought about my Drakthir characters yet, like what their personalities are like, or, you know, if they lost anybody like really special to them or anything. I'm sure they did. But, you know, I haven't really figured out how I want to play my characters, or what kind of story I want for them. But we'll see when we get there, you know? Whenever I get to RP them. I have to eventually take time to get my female Drakthir through the starting zone and then into Stormwind. So I need like a good day off. Maybe when I get my vacation. I think my vacation is in like next week, actually. When I take my vacation next week, I will get my female Drakthir. Oh dang, the 28th is Monday. That's when not Shadowlands, oh my god, Dragonflight comes out. So maybe I can start on my day off, Friday the 25th. I have Friday and Saturday off, so maybe those 2 days, because I want to get it done before Dragonflight releases, so that, you know, I can actually, like, just use my main and play the content when it comes out. So, this is my game plan, you know, for right now. His squad after he'd been positioned as a supply leader beyond simply a quartermaster after mastering the magics, since the creche starting to collapse led to his fellows in his chamber dying. Aww. It's gotta be a big shock for them, like everything that happened, like waking up, finding a lot of their friends dead. And then just being thrust into a very different world than what they knew. Like, a lot of them were like, where's Neltharion? Like, they have no clue, like, of all the things that happened. And it's gotta be, like, a huge shock to the system. Like, yeah, Neltharion was corrupted by old gods, and he tried to destroy the world, and then, you know, the other dragon aspects had to use the dragon soul and sacrifice their immortality to, you know, defeat him, and then a whole bunch of other stuff happened, like, just a ton of other stuff, like... Like, I swear my character would be like, are you joking? Is this a joke? Be like, is this an April Fool's joke? Plus, I feel like the Drakthir have probably never seen another race before, other than, like, what's on the Dragon Isles. Like, I don't think they've ever seen the younger races of Azeroth. Like, I feel like the dragons back then probably didn't even have their, you know, their visage forms yet, because, I don't know, like 20,000 years ago, were there elves or anything? Like, maybe there were Tauren and trolls. Orcs wouldn't have been on Azeroth yet. Like, we're talking, like, prehistoric Azeroth here. Oh, also, thank you so much, Savannah, for resubscribing. I just saw it was 27 minutes ago. For 15 months. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, I think, like, Azeroth 20,000 years ago, like, I mean, a lot of the races as we know them now, like, I don't even know, like, if there was the curse of flesh yet. Like, if the, you know, the Titans had the Iron Dwarves and stuff like that. Very few of them had developed. Yeah, so for the Drakthir to see, like, what exists on Azeroth now, like the human kingdoms, the orcs, the trolls, the elves, all the different races that we have, it's gotta be, like, crazy weird for them, you know? And interesting and fascinating. Let's see. Very few of them had developed. The curse of flesh hadn't fully taken hold, and the Drakthir notably never left the Reach. The implication is they didn't see much beyond their training grounds and home, even of the rest of the Dragon Isles, so they didn't even know other races. Yeah. So that's what makes, I feel like that makes the Drakthir, in terms of RP, like, really fun to play, because it's like you were just born almost. You're just born into this whole new world full of all these different races. It's almost like you're playing World of Warcraft for the first time. Like, that's what it's like for them. Everything is new to them. So, while yes, you know, they're grieving because they lost, you know, comrades and friends and everything, they're in a whole new world where they're gonna meet so many new people. And there's just so much possibility for whatever kind of adventures they're gonna wind up having, you know? And that's exciting. Like, I love a good adventure story. And I'm gonna have so much fun when I finally do get to RP my Drakthir. So, it's gonna be great. Especially because one of my favorite things to do is, you know, different races finding romance. So, like, I'm gonna have, like, a Drakthir that falls in love with, like, an elf or something. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be great. You know me and elves. I am obsessed with elves, so it just is, you know. I don't know, something about pointy ears, pretty faces. Just love my elves. He's looking. Yay! Thank you. This is one of the rare moments, like, for this picture I didn't trace anything. I pretty much just, like, you know, because he has such a custom build, I was like, it'd be easier just to, like, look at the references and then draw it and then try and warp it to how it would fit. So I didn't trace on this one, so I proved to you guys I can draw. I always feel so guilty about the tracing, but it's like, I swear to God, I only do it to save time, not because I don't know how to draw. Sometimes it's just easier, you know? Like, it's easier, it's faster. But I can draw. Especially because, like, see, I know that when even if I trace something, I'm still gonna put my own, like, style and flair to it. Like, I'm not just gonna leave it exactly the way it is. Like, the problem that a lot of amateur artists make if they trace is that they don't change the drawing that much from the source material that they trace, so you can tell it's traced. And really, amateur artists are not very good at tracing. Like, there's tracing things well, and then there's tracing things not very well. Like, you gotta know what you're doing, you know? like whenever I use 3D models, you know, I trace parts of them, but I don't trace the whole thing because the 3D models are not really super accurate. They have some anatomical issues. And only having a knowledge of, you know, how to draw anatomy, figure drawing, can you tell, like, what's off and be able to correct it. Like, a lot of the 3D models have, you know, some weird things going on when it comes to their elbows, like the way they bend. The little elbow bone and all isn't quite bumpy enough. And I'm really big on, like, little details like that. So all the years that I had to draw like nude models in college and, you know, study anatomy and draw like bones and muscles and stuff from anatomy books helps me have a greater understanding of these features and how they ought to look, so that I'm able to, you know, draw them more accurately and improve upon the 3D models. Like, the 3D models are super helpful, especially for drawing hands. I feel like the hands is really the part that helps me the most, because drawing hands is just forever difficult. But yeah, they're really nice for that. So grateful. And again, 3D models is just another tool for artists to use. Like, it's not really good to just trace them as is if you don't have a good grasp of anatomy, because I've seen a lot of artists do that, and like you can tell they don't really know how to draw people, but they're tracing 3D models, and there's always something about their drawings that just looks really weird, like uncanny valley. It's like something is off, you know? But there's definitely stuff when it comes to drawing that I myself would love to improve on, because you know, everybody has their weaknesses, and I really want to get better at digital painting. Like, I need to have a better understanding of like color and light and contrast between, you know, shadow and highlight. And just color in general, and how to paint, like make something look like an oil painting, because I know that that's a very popular style of art, especially for stuff like Dungeons and Dragons and World of Warcraft. People really like their, you know, painterly stuff. And if I ever wanted to, maybe someday down the road, get hired by like an actual studio and do art for video games and splash art, then that's like it's the industry standard to be able to paint, you know, really, really well. So it's something I should really, you know, try and take some time to practice if I ever want to get good at it. You know, like anything in life, it takes practice, it takes a little perseverance, and going outside your comfort zone. I prefer your style as it is. Aw, thank you. I mean, yeah, my style as it is right now is literally my comfort zone. Like, my whole life, I've been drawing, like, really crispy, nice line arts and doing cell shading, because that's just what comes natural to me. And, you know, it started from my love of anime, just drawing in an anime style, and that's why I started cell shading. And everything I do with these sketches too is like just the way I like to draw, you know, like it's mostly line art, really. I love inking line art. But the thing about the painting is painting breaks away from line art, and painting relies on literally just light and dark, light and shadow to create form. And it's like an entirely different way of thinking when you're looking at a picture, to figure out how to create these shapes not with lines, but with light and dark to convey all these different objects and shapes. And I just feel like it's much more complicated to think that way. Like, I really rely very heavily on having a line art. And every time I've tried to paint, I'm just never satisfied with it, or I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And I think that's the frustrating part, you know? That feeling of, what am I doing? I have no idea how to do this. And I've watched tutorials and they make it look really easy. And then I try it and I'm like, man, this is not so easy. Although I will say, I'm pretty happy with how I've gotten in terms of painting backgrounds. Like, I don't really have any issue painting backgrounds, and I feel like I do a good job with them. If it's nature stuff. And maybe simple buildings. Like, really simple. So I'm happy with how my painting has come along for backgrounds, but whenever it comes to painting characters, it's like, oh god. I just feel so out of my element. It just feels really tricky. Like, I think too, because, I always do really detailed characters that are wearing like a lot of armor. I don't just like attempt to paint a character that's wearing just plain ordinary simple clothing. Like, no, it has to be a character that's got like really crazy ornate armor. And there you go, there's your problem. You don't really know how to paint and you're gonna do something that's already difficult. Maybe I need to simplify. Cut it down a few notches. But that's why I end up doing just these like shoulder up little bust portrait painting practices. And I did the one of Amma, and then I did this like random elf girl, and that's like all the painting practice I've done in a year, so. And I always feel like I never push them far enough. Like, they're either too blurry or just something is not finished about them, and I don't know how to finish it. Like, I don't know how to bring crisp detail to an oil style painting the way I do with like cell shading, And that's, I think, what bothers me is I like crisp detail, like sharp defined features, and you just, it's just really hard to get that with the painterly style. It mystifies me how those artists do it. But alas, it doesn't really matter if I ever get good at that style or not. But it's just been kind of like a pipe dream that I've had, is to at least try to learn how to do it. Just add one more notch to my belt before I get old and retire someday. Which, who knows? I don't know. Like, do artists ever retire? Do we just keep drawing forever? I imagine someday I will retire because if I get arthritis in my hands, I probably won't be able to draw anymore. But that's hopefully a long ways away because I'm still young. For now. But yeah, I like to learn lots of things, so I want to learn how to paint. As the saying goes, experimentation begets innovation. And we don't want stagnation. We want innovation. Like, when you're an artist, you're always a student. You're always learning. I feel like that's true for life in general. Like, we're all students of life, and we're always learning. Always new things to learn. Never stop learning. Therandros, chunky legs. Looks like you're nearly done. Just about. I mean, this is just a simple sketch, not deluxe shading, so once I'm done with the thick outlines, and I think I did most of the shading lines. I mean, I might still have a few places I gotta add. I still have a few places to add the little sketchy shading lines, but it's getting there. And we're right on schedule because it took like off stream about an hour to draw the initial sketch, and we're at just about an hour for finalizing, which is right on target for the budget, so yay. Perfect. I like to stay on budget. I was amazed for that last commission that I did of Sherry Monroe, that I managed to come in an hour under budget when I was so afraid of going over because it was so ornate. Like the dress, the fairy wings, the little rune thingy with the filigree. I was like, oh my god, dude. This is crazy detailed. Let's see, we're reading up chat here. I just learned not to soak my cookie in milk for too long. It broke and fell in. That's a life lesson I've known since I was a little kid. Poor Lam, kind of. Right before the time skip he got in a guild event, he ended up getting zapped with time magic and getting knocked the heck out, saving his guild leader. Lam got a +10 to his time skip, if you get what I mean. Not as bad as Morth did, at least 10 years compared to Morth's 300. Wow, 300! How old is Morth? I mean, okay, he is a night elf, so they live a long time. I gotta remind myself. Like, I imagine a Gilnean, like if they're a human Worgen, then their lifespan is probably like a human lifespan, maybe, but if becoming a Worgen, like, does that extend their lifespan at all, or does it make them live a little longer, or have some kind of immortality? It does not, but Llama's a druid. Is Lam originally a Gilnean or a night elf? Because I don't really know what his form was before his animal form. Like, what race was he? Ah, okay. Okay. Very cool. Let's see, I gotta sign this somewhere. Let's see, maybe along the scythe over here. I always like to find a nice, smooth, curved edge to sign. By the way, I didn't ask you, like, is green a good color? I just went with, like, the most predominant color I saw on the character. But I didn't really ask you what color you wanted the sketch in. So if you want it in, like, a different color, I can change the color. Like if you wanted it, you know, blue or, you know, some brown or I don't know. Whatever you want. Green is fine. It predominates that outfit. Yep. Yeah, that's where I got this shade of green from. I love you guys have like the best druid transmogs. Like I need to get on some of that because my druid is super limited. I have mostly rogue kind of transmogs for leather. I don't have a lot of druid-y stuff. So my druid kind of looks more like a rogue. You're welcome. Yeah, I really like your transmogs. They're awesome. I love my troll druid. He is like the fruitiest little rainbow kitty cat. Like that's why I made him during Cat Out, because I was like, oh my god, rainbow lions, yes. I just love the colors. So pretty. And actually, like, I've been seeing the High Mountain Tauren druids, and their cat forms are super colorful too. Like, just, it gets me. My art aesthetic, you know, I love colors. So are you guys excited for the holidays coming up? Or feeling dread? I always have mixed feelings about the holidays. I mean, if it's Halloween, I'm all for it, and Thanksgiving is fine too. But Christmas, I always feel so stressed out at Christmas time because, you know, I'm like, oh my god, I gotta get gifts for people, whether I buy it or I make it. I gotta write out cards for people. I have to, like, prep. I have to decorate. It's just like, oh, so much to do. And I make so much stress on myself because it's like, oh, this is the time of year of giving, being generous. I gotta give. Yes to both dread and excitement. I don't like the extra work, but I enjoy the holidays themselves. Yeah, like, It's fun when, you know, when like Christmas Day finally arrives and you just like, you sit down and you're like, oh, now I can just relax, you know, you chill with your family or your friends or both, and you just, you know, have fun eating food, exchanging gifts, and just watching like Christmas movies and just feeling cozy and relaxed. And then, you know, the next day it's like it's all over, yay. Until next year. And I love Thanksgiving because like me and my dad, we cook just super yummy Thanksgiving dinner, and it's all about just sitting there and enjoying a good meal just with family and watching, you know, movies, and again, it's just about relaxing, you know. And I like that. I enjoy eating and relaxing. Those are two of my favorite things to do. To bed. Good night. Okay, I will be sending you this file shortly, so it'll be there for you when you wake up. And thank you once again so much for commissioning me. I appreciate it. Alright, now I gotta do background. Take care. Have a good night. And when I'm done with this, I'm going to log on my Paladin and start working on getting the plate set transmog. And then I will have all the transmogs. I think all of them look good except for the male one. Like, I don't know. When it comes to male, like for my hunters, most of the gear looks really bad. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but like not a lot of male gear looks good in WoW. Could just be me. Because I always have a really hard time finding transmogs for my male wearing characters. That's why I was kind of dreading the fact that Drakthir got male, and I was like, oh great. They got the one gear where I don't have that many sets, and a lot of the male I do have doesn't look very good. Just my luck.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Alright, so this is done. I am going to get it sent on its way and upload it. And thank you guys so much for watching. I know this was again like a really late stream, but I will be streaming again tomorrow, and I'm going to be working on a Nox, who is a D&D character, like a shapeshifter kind of thing. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We shall see how that comes out. So have a good night, everybody, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye!